Taoiseach, a survey reported yesterday that close to 1,000 teaching positions in primary and special schools are vacant. The impact on students is obviously huge. You have tens of thousands of kids being taught for extended periods of time by unqualified teachers. The situation is particularly bad for schools in disadvantaged areas of Dublin, including in Dublin Southwest. The housing crisis is so out of control that teachers simply cannot afford to live in our capital. They're emigrating to places like Dubai to work for a number of years in order to save for a deposit. Your party has had 11 years to fix this. I think we're at 5,000 days of Fine Gael continuously in power in a couple of weeks' time, but instead the crisis has gotten worse and worse and worse under your watch. Will you tell people where you stand on this issue ahead of the election? Do you support higher wages for all teachers? Do you support pay equality and permanent positions as standard for young teachers? And do you support a Dublin cost of living allowance? Will you also abolish master's fees for secondary students? They are a real obstacle, a barrier to training new teachers, and the small cut in fees that has been agreed is nowhere near enough.
To Deputy Murphy, and the issue of vacant teaching posts, look, I suppose I would point out that there are more teachers than ever before working in the public education system. Of course, the population has grown, that is also true, and pupil-teacher ratios in our primary schools are at the lowest level that we have ever seen. But yes, there are a number of issues, and the cost and availability of housing is certainly a contributory factor. You asked about the Dublin allowance. Being very honest, I have an open mind on it, but I live in County Wicklow, right? And I use that as an example. If you have a Dublin allowance, what does that do for a school in Kildare or Meath or Wicklow? I'm using that as an example, trying to actually attract a teacher. So how those begin and end, I think, is an interesting question. Dublin City Centre Task Force report that we launched yesterday comes at it a different way. It suggests developing a significant amount of housing in our Dublin City Centre and making that available for key workers, including teachers and nurses. That may be a different way of achieving roughly the same result. Yes, I favour higher wages for teachers. That's what we're delivering through our public service pay agreement. There has been a reduction, as you say, in the PME fees. I would like to see that go further in the time ahead.